What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about my expectations in regards to the first debate in 2020, alright, between Sleepy Joe Biden and Donald, the God Emperor King Trump right now. This is going to be very important for the election, you may think. And you know what? Maybe it could make or break anybody. As you can see right now in the job approval, Donald Trump is at 45, which Sticks Hexenhammer, who is a good predictor in these cases. His black magic, his Satanism is helping predict what's going to happen in this election. But as you can see in the chart, Trump is more disapproved than he is approved. But that doesn't really matter, does it? Now, as you can see, Donald Trump has an approval rating of 45%, and he's doing relatively well. You could say that he's been having a V-shaped recovery in the polls, and the polls are tending to tighten more or less over the last couple of months. As you can see, turbulent summer, okay? Now, as you can see in terms of the favorability for Sleepy Joe's not very popular himself. He's at 48%. Favorable, so he's not even at over 50%. So yes, he's ahead of Donald Trump, but not by the extent where you'd be safely saying that he'd win, okay, which would be over 50%. And by the way, even with a recession, even with a coronavirus, even with all sorts of things, Donald Trump is still somehow winning in a lot of polls, and is tying in a lot of polls, and is in play in most of the polls that are legitimate by any circumstances, by the way. And as you can see, the first presidential debate will take place in Cleveland, Ohio, which will be moderated by this faggot, what's his name, Chris Wallace, this old guy from Fox. He's a rhino, a Democrat, more or less, a Nixonian era type of guy who clearly does not know what he's talking about. As you can see right now, there were several debates prepping Biden for this. Trump has no preparation. He's given in the past indication that he has studied a little bit, so I would say that Biden probably has like 5 times the amount of debate prep. Not only that, but we're not even counting the 2020 primary, which gave Biden several debates to prepare, and as you can see in all of those, he did bad to mediocre. And as you can see here, the polling would obviously be against Trump, because everything's against Trump in the media. But as you can see here, Donald Trump is at like 35% in terms of YouGov, CNN, all these other, Fox News, terrible pollsters, by the way. He's going to be at a deficit. I think even if he does crush Biden, he will still find a way to lose the debate in terms of the polling, fake news polling, suppression polls, right? So that's going to be another issue for the president, but that can be circumspect. Okay, now when we look at the little details, again, we're having an unfavorable moderator. Yes, he's a centard, but again, he's a rhino. He's never Trump. He's going to be for Sleepy Joe, and I think he's going to throw softballs at the vice president, which is going to be a big problem. All right. Now, this is going to be the only debate between now and October 7th, which would be about 8 days from now, which is quite interesting because it's between the vice president, I believe, right? And this is going to be a huge problem. Now, the topics are going to be on Trump's and Biden's record, but they're obviously going to hit Trump because he's the incumbent president, even though Biden has had more experience in the executive than Trump has, ironically, right? And the Supreme Court, which is going to be easy for Trump to win on, because he'll just say, you guys want to stack the court, you're going to riot, you're crazy, you're insane, you want to have late-term abortion. He's going to bring up after-birth abortion, and the bunch will be like, come on, man, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to have that problem. But I think Trump could win on both of these things. Then on COVID-19, Trump's going to be like, well, Biden will be like, 200,000 people dead, Donald. Then this depends on how Donald wants to go. If he wants to be aggressive or presidential now. If he's going to be presidential, he'll be like, yeah, 200,000 is bad, but I did the travel ban. I shut down the country. You are asking for more of a lockdown, which is unpopular with the people watching the debate. But not only that, but he'll say you were calling me xenophobic and racist for doing the travel ban ahead of what you guys were doing, and then they'll say Pelosi said this Democrat said this, you said this in up until March about the coronavirus, and you're over here, Biden, saying that I'm racist, and then you're saying that, oh, if we had acted a little bit sooner. No, you fag. I'm going to tell you what, I did it relatively soon, and I was damn right in doing it. Okay, so if he approaches it the right way, he could win the debate, as well as COVID-19 as being a less important problem as the or the election goes on. Sorry, the cases may be going up, but the deaths are going down, and the vaccine is approaching. So again, not a big issue there. The economy is trending up. You can see the Dow has gone up almost to where it was before the coronavirus crash. So it used to be at 29.5K. It's at 27 and change. It could be at 28 by November 3rd. So I mean, the Dow is mostly recovered, Nasdaq as well, and unemployment, yeah, it did spike in 2020 at 15%, more or less 14, but it is down to 8.4. The jobs numbers are coming out very, very soon in a couple days. That's going to help Trump. It's going to be at 7-ish% unemployment, which is what Obama won on, by the way. So yeah, and that's a super view, by the way, guys. As long as he could run and sell the concept of the super V, I think he can win on the economy. And then Biden will be like, we had 72 months of pure growth, and then Trump will say slow growth, anemic growth, pathetic growth. Median household income went down. All the talking points he used against Hillary. Okay. Now, when we look at race and violence in U.S. cities, you can look. He can say denounce Antifa Joe, and then Biden's will be like, well, when are you going to denounce the KKK? And I'll be like, yeah, I designated them a terrorist organization. How about Antifa? And then he'll say, the murder of David Doran, the murder of all these minorities. And then Biden will say, incoherency, right? That's going to be another point for Trump. And then he'll say, well, for a president that likes to campaign about Biden's America, you're the president, do your job. Trump's going to say, I want to do my job. I am offering the National Guard to these Democrats, but most of the Democrats and the far left loonies that back you do not want to take the help. So that's going to be another thing. When you look at he could win the point on race and violence in cities. Then he could use the normal black unemployment, Hispanic unemployment, and that line does work a little bit. And then in terms of the integrity of the election, what does this mean? It basically means, will the election be safe? Trump now, compared to like last week, has multiple cases of Trump ballots thrown away, voter fraud in Minnesota, voter fraud in Texas. So he could win on this point. Again, Biden is too much of a retard to do anything. Maybe he'll have an earpiece. Anyway, okay. I think Chris Wallace would be a bigger threat to Donald, honestly, than would Joe Biden, believe it or not. Even though, if you were to look at how this was going down for the president, Joe Biden was an actual decent debater back in the day. In fact, he was able to hold his own against Paul Ryan, and as you can see, for him, he looked like an old man, but against Sarah Palin 12 years ago, he could win that debate. And in 2012, he had a decent chance of winning as well. And why is that? Well, it's because he is able to proficiently and strike against certain weaklings among the Democrats. But against Trump, I don't think so. People are saying Trump is senile. No, he's not. And I'll tell you why. He is able to do several questions a day, not miss a beat, and then come up with witty responses on the usual, on the casual, okay? So I think Biden is in a deficit here, all right? Sleepy Joe is going to lose the debate. Now, he might be on drugs, and if he's on drugs, he already said he's not going to do a drug test. If he does drugs, then I don't know what's going to happen. If he does drugs, he could actually hold his own like he did against Bernie. But who knows? It's up to Trump to really fight Biden where it counts, and I expect Donald to win this debate by a decisive margin. Maybe it won't be reflected in the polls right away about the debate, but I think his approval rating will go up. Biden's favorability will go down. And I think the likely voters are going to trend more towards Trump as they see Biden as not a viable alternative, that he's retarded and such. So yes, Trump will win the debate. I think Trump will do a 7 out of 10 out of this debate. He might be rusty, but this is very important for the election, and I'm very excited to see this tomorrow, guys. Comment down below. Should I stream my reaction to the debate? Wouldn't that be cool? Or should we hop onto Red Eagle's stream, or should we look at somebody else's stream? I don't know. This is going to be a lot of fun, guys. Thank you for watching.